Hey there, fans of brotherly love wrestling. It is I, Vic Delicious.
Philly's own, the Mecca here.
It is the real McCoy, J.D.X. Justin D. Xavier. And
it's your man, CD, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend, RJ City.
Hey there, brotherly love wrestling. Bill Carr here.
Hey everyone, this is two-time guest Wheeler Yuta.
Two bozos from Philadelphia flapping their gums about pro wrestling this, pro wrestling that.
Which is not that unique in the grand scheme of things yet.
You are in for a treat because you're tuned in to Brotherly Love Wrestling.
Philadelphia, are you ready?
No! They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling, and we are your hosts, Larry Hall, Joe Corrado, and our guest for this show. It's been a while since we've talked to him, and now much less action going on right now, anyway, during this interview than was last. Joining us once again.
We're going for a mellow interview this time.
Yes, yeah, much mellow. Danny LimeLight, welcome back.
Mi gente, what up, brotherly love? Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's nothing mellow about anything that involves me. So, I got the red cup. I'm chilling at the crib. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing, man? It's been a minute. It's been like almost 2 years, right? Almost 2 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think this was during pandemic and lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
You were about to do a no crowd show.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, also being on AEW, which is why with that show, we dubbed you Ravishing Danny LimeLight.
Hey, you actually came through with a promise.
Yes. You did the hip swivel and you blew us a kiss live during a match, which was hilarious.
We don't get to pop much during a show like that.
No.
So that was fun.
Hey, I'm a man of my word. You know what I'm saying? If I say I'm going to do something, I got to do it.
All right. So now I got to think about what I can have you do for an MLW
show. Well, and speaking of MLW, you guys were just in town at the 2300 Arena.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we were not able to attend. We did miss it, but from
I'm
all
leaving
accounts,
the podcast.
Damn it, Larry! I knew we shouldn't have mentioned that until we got like 30 minutes in.
But from all accounts, it was an amazing show, which doesn't surprise us with MLW. Is this the first time you were in or wrestled in 2300 Arena?
Nah, I done been there a few times now.
Okay.
I won the titles, the MLW World titles there in Philly. I made my debut in Philly with MLW. We had came back a few times after that. And then I was there a few times with New Japan doing the Team Filthy thing. So I actually just came back from Philly. I was in Philly with MLW, DC with New Japan, and then Philly again with with New Japan at the 2300 Arena. So me and Philly are getting quite acquainted, I would say.
Now,
shout out to all the Philly ladies who showing me a good time. I appreciate that.
Yes, there is plenty of those in that city of Philadelphia. Very
Sin
lovely.
City nightclub. That's my favorite one out there.
I know exactly which one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jade from Sin City. Excuse me, Jada. That's her real. I don't even know if we could use this.
We'll take care of that in post, as the professionals say. So, tell me what it's like compared to, say, the West Coast, like coming to a city like Philadelphia.
Oh man, Philly. I love Philly because you never know what you're gonna get. It's the unexpected. The crowd is always hot, and they're gonna love you, and you gonna know it, or they gonna hate you. You gonna know it. And I always have a ball, especially when I got the microphone in my hand in front of a hot Philly crowd. And once I get the mic in my hand, it's mic on, safety off, and the Philly crowd eats that shit up. Last time I was in Philly, matter of fact, some fucking ugly ass duck in the first row done threw a whole drink in my face.
That's not surprising, nor is that the first time.
And the worst part about it is that this shit was all over my fucking Hall of Fame Jeter jersey.
Oh, that's why he threw it at you.
Yeah, it was a female.
That's why she threw it at you.
She like a fucking duck. And she literally ruined my Hall of Fame Jeter jersey. I hope she sees this. You owe me like $200.
Oh,
Which is cheap tequila drinking ass.
That's bad. I mean, I feel bad because I know the feeling, but it's Jeter, so it's hard for me to actually get past the name and the Yankees. So, I mean, part of me gets it. The part of me gets the other side.
I don't know.
I don't agree with it.
Jeter.
Of all the Yankees, I think Jeter.
Oh, absolutely. The captain, he deserves all the respect. He's one of the only ones I'll ever really care about. Is Jeter. That's right.
So in Philly, would you rather be booed by the crowd or would you rather feel the hot babyface energy?
I'm a poppy. I like to get booed by the fucking. I like to talk my shit. You know what I'm saying? I like to get in front of that crowd with a microphone and say whatever I feel. And,
New Yorkers rarely have a hard time garnering heat from a Philadelphia fan.
Man, I get, wherever I go, I don't even try to get heat and I get heat. I don't know what it is. I mean, a lot of some of my boys in the back, they be like, man, you the fucking heat magnet, bro. Everywhere you go, you get in trouble. So I don't know, but I just be living life. I be vibing and shit,
I mean, it's helped get you to where you're at. So maybe a natural ability is, I mean, that's the only way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've stayed authentically me since this whole journey began. So, I'm enjoying it. Philly's hot. I love Philly. I've had some great matches in Philly. Some dope memories, so I'm excited to see what's next. We coming to New York, June 23rd, MLW. It's going to be hot. Poppy's coming home.
It's going to be a tough crowd to get booed by for you.
And it hasn't been announced, so I'm going to give you the sneak little link. Pause. But I'm supposed to be coming to New Jersey in August for a certain company, I guess a certain historic team. Not going to say any names or any companies yet.
Okay.
I'm going to let y'all ponder on this. But I just confirmed the phone call earlier today. And it's going to be a first-time matchup. And it's going to be nostalgic. And it's going to be lit.
This is a tag team match or this is a singles?
Come on. You're asking too many questions. Now, you sound like one of my ex-girls.
Trying to sneak that one in there. He fucking stomped me out right away.
I tell you what I will say is there's a hint,
I saw the shirt.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to jump to any conclusion. I was like, could there be something going on?
All right. Well,
in New Jersey. All right. So one more question. From Philadelphia to this spot in Jersey, how far away is it?
I don't fucking know. Like MapQuest to you. You had me sit here for a second and the Hennessy hit. I was thinking the Hennessy went to the
I almost
brain.
had him.
Like, bro, what are you doing?
I got him to think about it.
Almost.
Got him to think about it.
Yeah.
I did have one question I was thinking about earlier today. When you were, because you did some time with AEW on AEW Dark and whatnot.
Yeah.
And now you're primarily with MLW and you do a stint in New Japan and some various independent shows, but mainly MLW, would you say?
So I don't do any indie shows.
Okay.
Though now I'm going to sound like a fucking dummy because I'm going to retract that statement.
Okay. Retract.
I do one indie show.
Okay.
And it's the Republic of Lucha Bros show. Those my boys, really good friends of mine. So I did their first indie show, their 1-year anniversary of their store opening a couple months back. And I'll be returning June 19th in LA. But usually I just do MLW, New Japan, and United Wrestling Network, which is all TV. And I also, so here we go again, just accepted another indie booking for a company in LA called VWE. And that match is going to be happening in July. And it's me and Slice Boogie against Lil Cholo and Chavo Guerrero. Ooh. And for everybody that knows me and knows my career, knows why I accepted that match.
So I mean, you do indie shows with an asterisk. It's got to be the right match.
Yeah, I'm not an indie darling. I'm a TV poppy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just take any booking, any old town. You know, I don't need to. You know, I get to thoroughly enjoy my life based on the foundation that professional wrestling gave me, based on the foundation that the Marine Corps gave me, and based on the foundation that promoting in clubs in LA gives me now. So, you know, I don't really take too many days. I took the VWE date because Cholo helped when I came back to wrestling after my little break from it when I was in the military as a drill instructor. Lil Cholo was kind of the guy that was like, come to my school. You know, I'll get you right. I get you ready to get back to it. He kind of looked out for me, him and Mariachi Loco. And then Chavo Guerrero is obviously, you know, a legend. And that's, you know, y'all know how I feel about Eddie. I'm actually in the process of reading Eddie's book right now. So this match is, for me, this match is for Eddie. You know, that's why I accepted it and I get to do it with Slice Boogie.
Yeah.
And the Lucha Bros shows, because, you know, as I said, it's the Lucha Brothers. You know, I got a lot of love and respect for them. They show me mad love. So, you know, I always show them love. And it's a good show. It's a fun show. But you can see me on MLW, on New Japan Strong as part of Team Filthy, or at United Wrestling Network with the Bodega. And that's really much, that's all I do, you know?
All right. So my question, I'm going to try and word this correctly. So between,
you the FBI, bro?
Am I FBI?
You got a lot of questions.
Well, that's the point of my job, is to ask the question so we don't sit here in silence. So between I'll just use MLW for the example. Between MLW and AEW, like AEW's got what I consider like a really bloated roster of like, there's a lot of, if you were to sign with AEW, you'd have to like tooth and nail claw to get to the top of that company. MLW's got a little more of a, I mean, it's still a good size roster, but do you find it, what do you find better or more fulfilling for you? Like if you were to sign with AEW and have to try and get to the top of a bloated roster, or in the spot you're at now with MLW kind of running your own thing and doing really well and getting
this question right here, this is like you are op right now, because this question right here is like a double-edged sword. This question right here is kind of like if I came home from a club at 3 a.m. and I had some chick with me and I get a call from another girl and she's like, you want to come here? Now you're trying to have me choose between 2 guaranteed good times. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
I would like to just say both of y'all come here and we can figure it out between both parties with all these forbidden doors and open doors and all that. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time at AEW. I had a blast. I feel like almost a year that I was with them, you know, under the negotiations that we had, they showed me a really good time. They helped me build my stardom. I'm going to use quotations, you know, however you want to look at it. But it definitely raised my stock. It definitely brought more eyes on who Danny LimeLight was. And it's part of the reason why MLW did offer me the contract when they did. And the one thing that I liked about AEW was that, you know, I was on Monday Night LimeLight is what I used to say. And I was on Elevation every Monday. I was on Dark every Tuesday. And then, you know, I did have a Dynamite appearance and I wrestled Kenny Omega and all that stuff like that. They gave me a lot of opportunities to wrestle some of the best wrestlers in the world, the best wrestlers in the world. People say that their roster's bloated. They say all this stuff and stuff like that. But me personally, I think Tony Khan is a genius when it comes to wrestling. He loves this business. I've seen him talk about it. And I have a lot of respect for the decisions he makes. I like what they're doing between Elevation, Dark, Dynamite, Rampage, Ring of Honor now. You know, so there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of wrestlers. He also gave me an opportunity during the pandemic when a lot of people wasn't wrestling, you know, to make a good amount of money and be able to provide for my daughter and myself and live the life that I want to live. So I love AEW for that. What I love about MLW now is that, one, the first thing is I got to work with Conan, who's helped me a lot in my career since 2016 when he brought me to Tijuana, Mexico for the first time after seeing me wrestle on an indie show. And then bringing me to the Crash over and over, bringing me to AAA. He was the first person that hit me up to talk to me about MLW. And his plan was LAX 5150, you know, with, you know, it was supposed to be me, Slice, Boogie, and Homicide, or Junior Smokes. Homicide's in and out. Hernandez is coming in and out. Now Boogie's in and out. But really right now, 5150's on my back. You know, Conan would send prayers and thoughts to Conan, who's currently healing from surgery. But he did a lot for me. You know, Court Barra, MLW, they did a lot for me this last year. They gave me a platform to really now show people, okay, not only can Danny LimeLight wrestle with the best in the world, this motherfucker could talk with everybody. And I think that for me, one of the main things that made me is this right here. I got a silver tongue. This tongue right here is not only for the ladies, it's for the mic. You know what I'm saying? Pause. It's to be able to sit there and say what I want, how I want, and spit the truth. Everything I say on the microphone is real life. I don't cap on the microphone. I don't say shit I can't back up on the microphone. If you hear me talking about sipping Henny and partying in the club, you check my story on Instagram or Twitter, you're going to see me with some Hennessy and some women in the club vibe. That's who I am. And I think that MLW is building a great new roster with a lot of upcoming talent that have bright futures and bringing in people from the past and people that are currently present. You know, you look at the MLW World Champ, Hammerstone. The guy looks like professional wrestling. You know, you got Davey Richards, who's a veteran, you know what I'm saying, who I just threw down with not too long ago on an episode of MLW. TJP's in and out. And they bring in people like Los Maximos, Gangrel, you know, Savio Vega's back there. There's just so much from the past, present, and the future in MLW. And I love to be a part of it because when I first walked into those doors, I was representing LAX 5150 and the Puerto Rican flag, which to me is very important to represent for my culture and Latinos everywhere. I got a Puerto Rican and Mexican little girl at home. She's 8 years old. Shout out to my daughter, Khaleesi. And it's important for her to see Latinos on TV doing good, prospering. When I was growing up, we didn't really have Puerto Ricans on TV like that unless you were looking at J-Lo or Mark Anthony. You understand? And then even in wrestling, Puerto Ricans, you know, after Savio Vega left and, you know, like there wasn't really many Puerto Ricans on wrestling TV unless you look at Carlito, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he did it for a while. But there was still doing it. He looks great, by the way. Like,
he looks really good.
But when I was looking at Latinos, I looked at Eddie Guerrero, I looked at Rey Mysterio, looked at Chavo Guerrero. Those were the Latinos that was on TV every week. That's all I had to look up to. So now that I get to be one of those faces, you know, and then after me, then you had Santana, Ortiz, who took over for Homicide and Hernandez, and just building that legacy of, you know, Puerto Rico's Latinos is important to me. And MLW allowed me to do that. And they gave me my voice. They gave me the opportunity to constantly, week in and week out, cut promos, talk my shit, be me, and then do what I want in the ring. And I think that I've finally been able to show the world that watches wrestling and is learning about Daniel LimeLight. Okay, Daniel LimeLight Rivera, this kid, this is who he is. Like, there's no gray area. This is him. You know, and you could tell when I'm saying what I'm saying. You can tell right now listening to me talk on this fucking podcast with y'all. You know, I've known y'all 2 years now, and it's all love, so I know I can keep it 100 with y'all. That's the only way I'm going to keep it. But I love what MLW is doing, and I'm excited to see what comes this next year that I have with them. And we're going to see what's up. You know, there's a lot of people at MLW that I want to wrestle that I haven't wrestled. You know, I want to wrestle Myron Reed. He got the middleweight championship. I'll take that shit off his waist if I get a shot. You know, I want to wrestle TJP again. You know, I want to throw down with Hammerstone someday, Jacob Fatu. You know, they're bringing in, you know, Casey Navarro, Enzo. There's so many people, ACH. They got so many people that are like, you know, people that are really talented wrestlers on the show. And then MLW is giving them a platform to build on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not saying that MLW is a step down or however people, fans or whoever want to label what they want to label, what's the best wrestling, what's not the best wrestling. It's a company that has afforded me an opportunity to do what I love, travel, and live a life I live. And I have no complaints about that either. So whether I'm working at AEW, I'm working at MLW, I'm working at New Japan Pro Wrestling, or I'm with United Wrestling Network, like I have a blast. Every company lets me do what I do, you know? So.
I mean, how important, if important at all, is it to, I know we're saying that MLW, it's not fair to rank wrestling companies because they're all different, but everyone can get to a next level. Like, how important is it to be like one of the mainstays on that roster and get them to the next level?
Oh, that's something that I take with pride because I want to be the flag bearer. Wherever I step into, I want to be the flag bearer. United Wrestling Network, I don't care who has the championship right now. I'm the flag bearer of that company. Of everybody currently on that roster besides Peter Avalon and Ray Rosas, you know, and very, very many few others, I feel like I've been there the longest. I've been the most consistent with the company. And I've been somebody that's been on that, you know, David Marquez, he took me in as an orphan child, I would say, in wrestling. No company wanted me. Nobody wanted to book me. David Marquez pulled me in, and that's why I'm here. He taught me TV wrestling. I know how to wrestle on TV because David Marquez and his staff, you know. And then David Marquez introduced me to Rocky Romero, who, even though I can't stand Rocky Romero, you know, I'll smack the shit out of him right now if I saw him. You know what I'm saying? He got me into the doors of New Japan Pro Wrestling until I turned my back on him and joined Team Filthy with Tom Lawler. But that was a connection that I made through Dave, and then Rocky pulled me, and then because of what I was doing at New Japan, that's how AEW saw me. And then I went to AEW, you know what I'm saying, then MLW, and then, you know, between all that, AAA and all these other companies, that to me is important. And I think that when you're talking about, you know, leveling up, yeah, you can always get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had hit this little streak on the indies around 2019, early 2020. And then boom, I stepped into New Japan, and my first match there, I'm wrestling TJ Perkins. And then I'm in a tournament where I go all the way to the finals and wrestle Clark Connors, who's one of the best junior heavyweights right now that did his damn thing at the BOSJ in Japan. So for me, like, that was, okay, boom, that took me to the next level. And then working with Tom Lawler and Kratos and, you know, the West Coast Wrecking Crew and running that faction, you know, leveling up. Now I know how to work with a faction, a group of people. Or if we're at United Wrestling Network and I'm teaming with Slice Boogie and Pop with the Bodega, and it's, you know, I'm winning tag team championships there, and I'm learning more about tag team wrestling. That took me to the next level. Then when I'm at AEW doing the single stuff, wrestling Kenny Omega, wrestling Matt Sydal, Brian Cage, Konosuke Takeshita, John Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Ray Phoenix. You know, I could list all these people that I wrestled. Jungle Boy on the first ever episode, first ever match on AEW Elevation. I could list all these people that I wrestled that helped me get to the next level. You learn from every time you step into the ring. I go back, I watch my matches. That didn't look good. I probably shouldn't do that. Why did I do that? That was fucking dope. Okay, cool. And then now MLW, boom, now I'm wrestling Davey Richards. I'm doing the tag team thing again. I'm working with Conan, so now I'm learning from Conan. I'm picking Conan's brain. I'm working with Homicide and Hernandez, picking their brains, learning from them, wrestling other people that I've never wrestled before. Now they have me a live mic. Now I'm cutting promos live in front of everybody in attendance, not skipping the beat, doing my thing. Now that's taking me to the next level. Okay, now this guy, he can wrestle, he can talk, he can do da. If you ain't trying to level up, if you ain't trying to, you know, put in the work, then you're going to just plateau. That's one of the reasons why I think Chris Jericho is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's one of the GOATs because he always, not saying he's leveling up his talent in the ring, but he levels up what he's doing. He levels up his thinking, his game plan. Jericho, he's a master at this craft. And if you watch from, you know, I never watched WCW when I was a kid. The first thing I watched was WWF. I didn't really watch WCW like that. And that's no disrespect to the company. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But when Jericho came in, he was just one person. And then throughout the years, he just leveled up, changed, stood relevant. Not saying that he was going to fall out of relevancy, but like he kept in tune with what's happening in the world too with his character. And, you know, the way he took the Inner Circle and made them stars. And now he's doing the same thing with the Jericho Appreciation Society. That's next level thinking. That's next level heart for the business, you know? And I think that as you continue to do this thing of professional wrestling, you know, you get around certain people, you learn from certain people, and that's what helps you get to that next level, unless you're too stubborn and think you know it all.
This is a perfect time for your favorite question.
Yes.
Come on. I'm single, all right?
Your other favorite question.
Okay. So, is there a piece of advice that you got when you were coming up, when you were training, it sticks out in your head that you may use day in, day out, in and out of the ring?
Damn. I'm gonna keep it 100 because I'm bullshit. People didn't really fuck with me like that when I was coming up. Like, I felt like a lot of people was expecting me to fail, or I felt like a lot of people thought that I was too cocky or too arrogant, or they mistook my personality for some kind of negative type of vibe that they didn't want to help or assist. So, you know, lately Hernandez, you know, has been somebody that's been really getting on me about things I should be and shouldn't be doing. You know, David Marquez is another person that has given me little things here and there, talks. Hey, why'd you say this? Why'd you do that? You know, and like, he kind of likes to play the devil's advocate. And I feel like I learn more when I have that person playing the fucking angel devil on your shoulder and like testing you to see what you're gonna handle certain situations. Advice. I don't think there's anything that one person said that might have stuck out. You know, yeah, you know, Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow. Fuck,
Yeah.
That one.
No, it's okay. You put them together, but we still knew exactly who you were talking.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know, he was the one he right before the like during the middle of the pandemic, right before Primetime Live, he came up with the bodega idea. And I never wanted to do tag teams again. And he's like, this is gonna help you get your character stuff. And by character, not pretend to be somebody. He's like, you're gonna find your most authentic self in professional wrestling if you just trust me and go with this. And I had never met Papo Esco a day in my life. And I was like, I've been with this company at the time was 5 years. I've been with the company 5 years. Like, I'm ready for my single shit. You want to partner me with some strangers that I've never met and see, like, if we don't have chemistry, this shit don't work. It's gonna fucking, it's gonna mess my shit up. And Papo Esco ended up being a hidden gem that people hadn't really known about. And now he's the United Wrestling Network World Television Champion. And Steven Aaron was right. Like, it helped me get that character stuff down. And then, TJ Perkins is another person who, I'm a TJP fucking fan. Mark, whatever you want to say, man. Shout out to TJP, because right after he got done with WWE, I was one of his first indie opponents that he had, but he came back to the indies. At the time, I was like the champion at one of these companies in San Diego. He was coming fresh off of being like, he was the fucking first cruiserweight champion in WWE. Like, he was the man coming back to the indies. He had been wrestling so long. He had the New Japan Impact. He did everything. You know what I'm saying? And I had a match with him in San Diego, and it was a great match. And he showed me a lot of love that he didn't have to show me. And, then when I went to New Japan, I had my one-on-one with him again, and it's just like, he's just somebody that from that point on, he would always hit me up. He'll watch the match and be like, I didn't like that you did this. Oh, you should have did that. Hey, take your time with your entrance. That's another important advice. Take your time with your entrance. When I started making my debut at AEW and I started wrestling at AEW every week, TJP was one of the very few people who watched all my matches and would give me feedback on all my matches. And he'd say, you're walking into the ring like a wrestler who only has 5 minutes to wrestle. Take your time on your entrance. He's like, look at Randy Orton. How long does Randy Orton take on his entrance? Look at this person. Look at The Rock. Look at that. How long do they take on their entrance? They look like stars before they get in the ring. And that's something that stuck with me. I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'm running to the ring. Why am I doing that? Why am I not taking my time? And that's something that now I pass on to every new person coming up. When I watch them on like United Wrestling Network, I'll call them, hey, you rushed to the ring. You look like somebody that only had 5 minutes to wrestle, because TJ told me that. Another thing TJP told me was like, he said, there's so many cutthroat people in this business. Everybody's trying to cancel everybody. Everybody wants everybody's spots. But he's like, there's enough wrestling going on right now for everybody to have a plate and for everybody to eat. And he's like, you don't need to take nothing off nobody's plate to eat. And that's something that stuck with me because, coming from New York, like, I believed in that everybody eats mentality. That was the paid in full, money-making Mitch, Ace Boogie vibe. Everybody eats. And if you take it to somebody else's plate, like, you're a snake. That's corny to me. I'm not with the backdoor in. I'm not with the sneak dissing. I'm not with none of that shit. I worry about myself. I worry about my daughter. If you're not fucking me, feeding me, paying my bills, I don't care what you're thinking about me. And so when TJ told me that, I was like, man, that shit to me, like, that's okay, boom. I don't need to cut through nobody. I could stay me. I could stay authentic and still make my due. And I did that. I have made way more money in professional wrestling than I thought I ever would. You know what I'm saying? I ain't a millionaire yet, but I've made a great living wrestling that I didn't think was possible when I was wrestling for $20 in San Diego. You know what I'm saying? So as far as advice, I may not have, everything I've said right now is something that people could take from, but for me personally, just stay authentic to who you are. Like, when I go to the grave, I already told my closest people, like, you better play Juicy by Biggie Smalls. You better play Frank Sinatra my way when they lower in my casket, because I did this shit my way and I stay true to who I am. And to me, that's the most important thing. I'll never trade this right here, this authentic self of mine, for any amount of dollars, ever. I already broke the generational cycle. My pops was a drug dealer. My mom was a college dropout. I live a very great life now, breaking that cycle. My daughter's 8 years old. She had to pay taxes this year. She made over $40,000 this last year at 8 years old, working. I broke the generational cycle.
Woo, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good living for an 8-year-old.
Why am I paying child support then? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a joke I always tell her mom. I'll be like, yo, your daughter's making more money than most people out there. Why I still got to pay child support? That's a joke between me and my daughter's mom. I want to give a second to shout out my daughter's mom too, because I wouldn't be wrestling if it wasn't for her. She paid for my first few months of training out of her pocket because I didn't have the bread at the time. So there'd be no Danny LimeLight if there wasn't, Miranda Garcia, well, at the time, Miranda Rivera, who fucking, paid for my training shit. So,
wow.
Good people.
Mm-hmm. That's why every now and then I'll be like, yo, here, get your nails done, mommy.
Not too much, though. I can't do it too many times.
Nah.
I do have one more kind of, if you want to call it like a legacy question. End of your career, hanging the boots up. What do you want people to remember about Danny LimeLight?
I don't even wear boots.
No.
Hanging up your wrestling shoes.
Metaphorically speaking.
Damn. I was like the same thing I just said, that I was authentically me. Like, he ain't switch up. He stood who he was. He was innovative, because I felt like some of the shit that I do in the ring is very creative, very innovative. I take pride in that. I'm now helping agent matches at United Wrestling Network, produce matches at United Wrestling Network, and I'm starting to help guys open their creative box on how to do certain things. So that's one of the things, he was authentic. He stayed true to who he was. He was innovative. And that I kept it real. I had fun, like that's something I want people to remember about. Like, he's like, man, that they could go back and watch, I want to go watch a Danny LimeLight match to see what he was doing in the ring. Or I want to go watch a Danny LimeLight promo. The way I go and I watch The Rock promos, or the way I go and watch Ric Flair promos. I want people to go watch Danny LimeLight promos, see me talking my shit, and I get my inspiration from my life growing up, how I felt growing up in New York, how I felt going through the military, how I felt being a dad. Everything I say is real facts, shit that I feel in my heart. And I think that, like, when people watch the promo, like, damn, where's the inspiration drawn from? It's drawn from that. And right before I go out and cut a promo, I put my headphones in. I listen to Big L talk his shit. For those of you that don't know, Big L was a rapper in the 90s. Go watch his stuff on YouTube. He's a dope lyricist, great bars, hard punchlines, like, that's how I try to deliver my promos, with hard punchlines, real shit, real talk, real authentic vibes.
It's a good name drop by you.
What?
I said, that's a good name drop by you.
Yeah, Big L, man. 98 freestyle is my favorite thing. That's the most. That's. I'm about to go to the gym right now, off the Hennessy. If I turn that shit on.
Well, you'd sweat it out if that's any consolation.
Yeah.
All right, I want to throw just I don't know, I guess a fun hypothetical to end it. So I want you to pick the perfect venue against the perfect opponent. And just put like the best case scenario. Like, say, for instance, like, I'm wrestling, this wouldn't be mine, but Mania against AJ Styles, main event. Put yourself in the place and the time and the opponent.
Shit. June 23rd, MLW, Danny LimeLight versus Myron Reed for the middleweight title in New York City.
Is that
realistic thinking? That's it right there.
You kept it current. New York City. We're at New York.
June 23rd. Wherever the fucking venue's at, June 23rd in New York City for MLW. Danny LimeLight versus Myron Reed for the middleweight open championship. That's my current dream match. I'm going to beat the shot of Myron Reed the way I did a year ago when I made my debut.
Big words. Maybe we can get Myron on for the rebuttal. Probably
Myron
not.
don't want to. Myron don't want to do that. We don't want to get into an exchange of words.
All right, you're gonna have to help us set this up. We need to split you guys, split the screen.
We've done this before,
so we're semi-pros. Loosely pro, more semi. But fuck, I lost it.
That's gotta be my next shirt. Pause.
Please do.
It's a good one.
I gotta fucking I gotta hit my graphic guy up. That's my next shirt. Pause.
So Danny, I know recently you released a shirt off Pro Wrestling Tees. Where can they find obviously Pro Wrestling Tees is the only one?
I got so many dope shirts. All my shirts match the newest J's, the newest ones, the newest SB Dunks, all the cool kicks that kids are wearing these days. ProWrestlingTees.com/Danny LimeLight. I got my new shirt, Mic On, Safety Off. I got a few other dope designs on there. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Danny LimeLight. I'm not hard to reach. I'm not hard to find. Just hit me up, and you always, stay true to who you are. Spread love. That's the Brooklyn way.
Danny, thank you so much again. It was great talking to you. Great seeing you again. Great catching up. And hopefully we'll be seeing you very soon.
For sure.